Good afternoon, and I'm Risto Virkkala. I'm CEO and founder of Epicode. I'm telling you about where it all gets started and why we are doing the things that we are doing today. First of all, a little bit my background and listening the story of Jari Litmanen. It was very interesting to hear how he was in his childhood able to turn his passion into a great career, and also how things in his childhood were all related to the football and playing it. And I have to say that there are very many similarities with my childhood. The only thing you need to replace is the word football with the word computers. and how it all started in my childhood, when I had just learned to, let's say, read and write. I got my first computer. It was VIC-20. And at those times, I have to say that what Ari Lemke was telling, there was no internet at that time. You had to purchase the games. They were really expensive. So that way, my programming hobby got started. So I started creating the games and software I wanted to use myself. And also I went on with the upgrade path of computers from VIC-20 to Commodore 64 and Commodore 128 and then finally PC. And when Ari Lemke and Linus were in university doing Linux and everything with the internet, I was not yet in the university, and the internet was a privilege of the people who were in university. So on those days, the rest of the people had to rely on modems and bulletin board systems in order to access files and share files and download the things that we now download for internet. And that was of course also a kind of a one thing to get around that everything in IT side, if you purchased software, it costed a lot, and you could download from BBS systems everything for free, and at that time I decided to start implementing my own bulletin board system. It was called Super BBS at that time, and it became one of the world's most popular bulletin board systems at that time. That was kind of the turning point when my hobby started to turn into a career. And when the times went on, I graduated from the university and let's say entered the business world as a software engineer. That was around 2000, and what I have to say, it was a major disappointment. I was involved in a software project, and it was just I was so amazed that why didn't the things work out in the projects? All the projects were failing to meet the deadlines. They were failing to meet customer expectations. They were failing to meet the quality criteria. And that made me think that there is something severely wrong in software development. And during those years when I was a software engineer, at the same time I started to think that I need to do something on my own, start a company. And in 2005, the time was right for that. At the same time, agile software development methodologies were emerging to the market, Scrum and so on. And that kind of felt as a natural point to start a business, to start implementing to customers software projects with agile software development methodologies. And everything started in 2005 in Finland. The telecom industry was at that time glowing hot red. Everyone knows the story of Nokia, how the phones were selling at those times, and there was a major demand for software engineers, software projects, and so on. So we started the projects, and everything went very smoothly. However, soon the customers came to us and asked that it's very interesting what you are doing in the projects, and actually we wish that you could come to our own software development teams to tell us what you are really doing. And the reason for this is that I had so technical background that even from the beginning my passion was to take all the possible automation tools into use, automate whatever could be automated. At that time it was test automation, continuous integration, take into use all possible tools that there were and integrate them to work together. And actually that was the thing that the customers get interested in. They wanted us to come to tell their teams that how we can build automated production pipelines, how we can develop the tools that they use in their tool chains, automate it and administer it. Meaning that, for example, if there are several tools in the software development environment, how to get them work together, so that the information flows between the tools. That if you create a new project, it will automatically get created to all the tools itself, and not requiring kind of a manual work from help desk or something like that. So we also started to manage our customers' software development infrastructure. So basically, the customer let us to manage all the tools, handle their upgrades, and let them to concentrate on developing the software and create the value to their end users. This also made it possible for them to reduce the development cycles, to get down the turnaround time, the release cycles. We also set up an internal organization within the customer to onboard all their software development teams to use the DevOps practices, and that we could coach even developers individually how they should work with the platform. And this has influenced what we do today. So at that time we started to think that if there is a request coming from customer, we really need to concentrate on this business area. We really need to develop an offering concentrating on the DevOps business area. Of course, the term DevOps actually came to publicity a couple of years later, and beginning we actually called it Software Production Improvement Services, like a kind of a horrible abbreviation, SPI. But when the term DevOps came into publicity, everything turned much more easier when everyone knew then what we were talking about. So our first service area developed to be DevOps and automation. We help our customers to become the best software development organizations in the world. We help them to reach the capability for a zero-day delivery, which means that from a feature request, their organization needs to be capable to get the product into a production within the same day. And we help the customers to reach this capability. And why this is important? It's important because consumers are ever more expecting their software and what they have to update more frequently. We all have smartphones, we all have apps in smartphones. We see that they are updating constantly, and now there is a really lot of manufacturing business, for example, in the Europe, which is not on the same level yet. They are not able to release their software to the equipment on a daily basis. And one good example in this is for example, car manufacturing industry. Why do you need to take your car to a dealership or service to get a new version installed? Some of the car manufacturers have been able to get their release over the air, for example Tesla, but many of the others are still following. And what this places as a requirement to the car manufacturers, of course, is a really strict reliability and quality criteria that if they deliver over the air new software to the car, that the car doesn't, for example, stall on the road and so on. And the only way to achieve this is through adopting DevOps practices, not only in the software development side, but throughout the whole organization. Then another service area is what we call Root. Root is our product for toolchain orchestration. It's also a ready-made platform for all tools needed in a DevOps platform. And the reason why we started building Root is that, as I said earlier, based on the customer requests, we had started to develop from the scratch similar systems for many of our customers. And our thinking was that why don't we create a product around this business area so that it could be just installed to a customer and then customized to fulfill customers' requirements instead of always starting it from the scratch. And next, Tuomas is going to tell more what Deficode Root is, and this was my speech. If there is anything to ask, I'm really happy to answer your questions either now or later in the meetup area. So thank you, everyone.